legal tender. Now, what is legal tender? What is legal tender? Legal tender means that money which has been issued by the government, or we can say that the central bank of the country, and and which must be accepted by everyone, which must be accepted by everyone, and the commodity which is used for financial obligations, financial liabilities. So that is called legal tender. Just try to understand the technical term legal tender. So what is legal tender? What does it mean? What does it mean? So if we talk about the legal tender, so legal tender means, the very simple definition is, what is legal tender? So legal tender means the money which is issued by the government, or we can say that central bank, and must be accepted as a medium of exchange. So that is called legal tender. If we talk about what the legal tender is, so legal tender means any commodity. Legal tender means any commodity which is declared by the government that this is a money, and we can use it in financial obligations and liabilities. Financial obligations and liabilities means what? I have borrowed the money from a particular person. Now I'll have to pay back to him. So what is financial obligation? So financial obligation means the debt settlement. I had borrowed money, now I will have to pay back. So this is the financial obligation, this is the financial settlement. So legal tender means, in a very simple language, the money that can be legally used to make payment of debts and other obligations. We can say like that. So what is legal tender? So legal tender means the money which can be legally accepted, which can be legally used. Like if you visited to the market and the notes, the coins which are issued by the government, you visited to the market and you asked for a particular commodity from the shopkeeper, and you saying that, okay, how much it cost? They are saying it's rupees 50. Now you are having the 50 rupees note which has been issued by the government or the central bank. If you are offering 50 rupees note to that person, and he must be able, and he must use that 50 rupees as a medium of exchange, that means he cannot refuse to take the 50 rupees note which has been issued by the government. That is called legal tender. So legal tender means the money which can be legally used to make payment of debts and other obligations. So this is called legal tender. If we go little bit ahead about this term legal tender, so legal tender means, first of all, you have to keep in your mind, it must be issued by the government or central bank. So the money which is issued by government or central bank, that must be accepted as a like payment of debt settlement. That means, in a very simple language, all the currencies, all the currencies of the country are called legal tender. Now look, when I'm talking about the term currencies, so in my class, currencies means the coins plus paper notes. The coins plus paper notes. Like in Indian currency, we are having coins, we are having paper notes. So all the currencies, that is coins and paper notes, are considered as legal tender. Simple. Now, if we talk about this term legal tender, so the next term is types of legal tender. Types of legal tender. So legal tender are of two types. One is limited legal tender and another one is unlimited legal tender. One is limited legal tender and another one is unlimited legal tender. Now, what is limited legal tender and what is unlimited legal tender? Look, limited legal tender means when there is some kind of restrictions imposed by the government to use the money which is issued by the government with some restrictive manner. Means what? Means this, in our country, all the coins and rupee 1 note is considered as limited legal tender. Now I'll let you know why it is called limited legal tender. Limited legal tender and unlimited legal tender. Try to understand. So when the legal tender can be accepted without any limit, that is called unlimited legal tender. Without any limit. When the legal tender means legal tender is nothing, that is called currency. Legal tender is nothing, that is money. So in the technical language of economics, the term money is nothing but legal tender. So when the legal tender can be accepted without any limit, that is called unlimited legal tender. Or when the legal tender is accepted with certain maximum limit, that is called limited legal tender. That is called limited legal tender. That means what? In a very simple language, you just got to know the limited legal tender means there are some restrictions, there are some maximum limits which have been fixed by the government. So that is called limited legal tender, right? And what is unlimited legal tender? When there is no maximum limit fixed by the government to accept that or any commodity, that is called unlimited legal tender. Now, means what? Listen. All other notes, rupees 2 and above notes, are considered as unlimited legal tender. Rupees 2 and above notes are considered as unlimited legal tender. Now, listen. If we go much ahead, here I mentioned all the coins and rupees 1 note. As the RBI fixes a limit, and everybody would learn this for the very first time. I'm just coming, I'm just coming, just coming. Just coming. So I'm just talking about the legal tender in my class. So what is legal tender? Legal tender means all the money, technically called legal tender, means the money which is issued by the government or the central bank is called legal tender, that must be accepted as a like debt obligations or any other financial obligations, that is called legal tender, right? So legal tender are of two types, limited and unlimited. So here the coins and rupee 1 note, there are some restrictions which are imposed by the RBI. What kind of restrictions are there? Coins, you can only use coins for the payment of any commodity up to rupees 1000. But nobody knows in our country that there are certain kind of restrictions which are mentioned in the RBI's perspective. Limited legal tender is a very simple term, means that is a form of money only, that is legal tender, but there are certain limits. So what are the limits? There are certain limits. So what kind of limits are there? What kind of limits? Means if you visited to the market and asked for any commodity, so on behalf of coins, you can only exchange the commodity that value is equal to rupees 1000. Like you cannot accept, the shopkeeper can refuse to accept the coins if the commodity what he is selling is more than rupees 1000. Say, did you get this point or not? This is a very important point, right? This is a very important point, and you all must be able to understand this. So this is called the limited legal tender. So limited legal tender means that can be refused by anyone or any citizen in the settlement of transactions or the financial obligations. And if I'll talk about the coins, so coins are of two types. If I'll talk about coins, so are of two types, the small coins and large coins. Small coins and large coins. The coins which are less than rupees 1 are called small coins, and the coins which are of more than rupees 1 are called the large coins. So if we talk about the small coins, that is the limit which is fixed by the RBI, or we can say that government. If you using the small coins less than rupees 1, if you using small coins, then you can only exchange the commodity that price is less than 100. Why these type of restrictions are imposed? Yes, Vineet. So these type of restrictions are imposed because this is limited legal tender. Why this is limited legal tender? Because coins are just used for exchanging the commodity, for making the exchange smooth, for making the exchange easy, right? So that's why the government is minting the coins. So coins are only minted for the purpose of like making the transactions smooth. Like you went to the market and you have rupees 20 and you bought any commodity that is rupees 13. Now from where they will get 7 rupees, they will give you the 7 rupees as a coin, so it will make the transaction smooth, it will make the transactions easy. So that is the only purpose behind the issuing of coins and rupee 1 note. So I think Vinith, you got the answer. So what is limited legal tender and why it is called limited legal tender? Everything is clear. So the small coins can only be exchanged up to rupees 100 and large coins can only be exchanged up to the value of rupees 1000. That's why they are called limited legal tender. If you went to the market and you asked for any commodity that costs rupees 5000 and you are giving the 5000 coins, the shopkeeper may refuse to accept coins from you if he is having knowledge like us, right? What is unlimited legal tender? So there is no limit, no certain limit, no certain limits, no certain limits to exchange any commodity. You can exchange the commodity of any value with this unlimited legal tender. So the legal tender are of two types, the limited legal tender and the unlimited legal tender, right? So simply you can write down here, the coins can be used to make payment only up to rupees 1000 in India. You can mention here note the coins can only be used to make payment of up to rupees 1000. So beyond 1000 you are not allowed to use the coins as a medium of exchange, right? Currency notes can be used as the payment, but rupees 2 and above notes can be used to make payment of any amount in India. They are called the limited legal tender and the unlimited legal tender. And I hope you got this point. So whenever I am talking about the legal tender, so legal tender means the money. So this is a very simple meaning of money. What is money? Accepted by everyone as a medium of exchange. What is legal tender? The money, but in terms of RBI's language, in terms of government's language. So when we talk about money in terms of core economics perspective, so money means the legal tender.